Alright everyone, we're almost there. This step is going to be putting on the final finishing touches of your project and creating a plot so that you can upload a digital copy as well as print a copy of this assignment for submission. So as you can see in the previous submission, what I had done was completed the creation of the building. As part of this step, what I've done is I've gone on the internet and downloaded a few AutoCAD blocks. That's what these guys are called. And I've brought them into my file. So the blocks that I looked for were AutoCAD tree blocks. If you happen to have trees, or perhaps you have other elements in the background of your model that you'd like to include in your trace. So for the purposes of this exercise, I've added in a few trees. I've made sure to trim them around the edges where my objects are. And then I've also added a family walking away from the building to give a sense of scale and to add a little bit of a sense of personality to this scene. Okay, so once you're all done and you've added in everything that you'd like to add to your trace, next thing we're going to do is we're going to make a plot of our drawing. So you'll notice in the bottom left hand side over here you have a tab that's currently active called the Model tab, and then just on the right hand side over here you have the Layout tab. Click once on the Layout tab and you'll be brought to a window that looks like this. If you double click inside this window here, this is called your viewport. You can zoom in and out, and it essentially acts as a window to the trace that you've done in model space. So you can imagine how this white portion here, this is essentially your 11 by 17 page. What we can do is if you right click on the Layout 1 tab and go to Page Setup Manager, right? We only have one layout active, so if we click on Modify, here's where we can set what kind of page we'd like our layout to be on. I'm happy with 11 by 17, so I'm going to leave it as is, but if you need to change it, that is where you do so. I've gone ahead and I've already included this title block, so this is already included in here. I'll post a link so you guys have access to this file in case you want to use the same title block, or if you'd like to find your own title block, you can go ahead and search for one on Google and then just copy and paste it on top of the different pages that you use in your layout. Okay, so let's see. Let's finish off this activity. What we're going to do is press Control P. This is going to activate the plot command. Similarly, you can come over here to the Layout 1 tab and select Plot. And what we're going to want to do is make sure that we have a plotter selected that has PDF in the title. So essentially what we want to do is create a PDF plot from this layout. So I've selected PDF, I have my page size set up. I'm going to want to make sure that I have ArcCTB selected. If this is not an option for you, please take a look at the PowerPoint presentation in the earlier section, since it will outline how to upload your ArcCTB. Alright, click on Preview once. And that looks pretty good. You'll notice I have these dotted lines and some circles over here. This is to help me frame the view. So essentially in photography we have the rule of thirds, which divides a scene in the X direction by 3 and in the Y direction by 3. And usually you want to put points of key interest along the intersecting lines. So between here and here, you'll notice how my building actually has that edge right along this dotted line. Okay, now if you notice some lines are actually not showing up in the way that you'd like them to, right? It looked like some of my blue lines were getting cropped out there. I'm going to set my plot area, and I'm going to click on Window. I'm going to make sure I have my O-snaps on. So here's the window I'd like to plot. I'm going to make sure I have it to fit to page, and then do another preview. There we go. That seems to be including everything now. So I'm pretty happy with this. I'm going to go ahead and plot this. I'm going to click on OK. And I'm going to put this on my desktop. Let's call it Plot Test 1. And there it is. Perfect. So for your submission, you're going to have to provide both a digital copy uploaded similar to this PDF that I've created here, as well as your DWG file, as well as a hard copy. So you can go ahead and print a copy of this on an 11 by 17 page and bring it to class next week. Alrighty everyone, thank you very much for joining me on the first CAD exercise. I look forward to having you here on the next exercise.